3. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Sunday interview series on Out of the Panel Comics YouTube channel here. I am joined by, we know him as America's Ass, Captain America, but Cody White here. And we're going to talk Pokemon for beginners tonight. Now, Cody, I appreciate you joining me tonight.
I appreciate the invite. This is quite exciting.
Yeah, you know, I asked around, I said, listen, I need to have a Pokemon talk because I've had many collectors, many parents, everybody coming to me because I often, I'm able to price collectibles, move collectibles, stuff like that. And Pokemon is the one thing I have no idea about. And somehow it came back with a just blazing in the last year after being, I don't want to say dormant. I mean, there's still Pokemon Go, still collectors, things like that, but nowhere near when it was at its height. And all of a sudden you have to line up outside of a Target at like 6 a.m. to get a pack of cards at this point. So
yeah, seeing that pop up now is that's maddening to me.
What's the deal, man? What's the deal? Like, let's start there. What's the deal with Pokemon all of a sudden?
I couldn't even tell you. It literally went from just overnight blowing back up. I don't know if it's because the pandemic forced even the sports car world. I know, I think Mike in our group tries to get a whole bunch of Target, stuff like that, and it's just bare. I went to Target today to pick up some stuff, and I just took a glance around. You had some Magic and even some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, and I think that's starting to pick up traction again too.
Yeah.
But the whole, one pack per customer and stuff like that, but just completely wiped out.
I don't
know.
Even sports cards, I sold a Charles Barkley All-Star card from like 1993 for like $15 when I couldn't even give them away before. So it's wild, man. But Pokemon's been the most interesting thing to me throughout all of this, simply because I know that there's an uptick in getting them. I've seen the prices everywhere. I've seen people pulling out their old, files and selling them and getting back into playing. And I'm seeing a ton of young kids getting into it. It's awesome to see. I love seeing kids nerd out and get into this kind of stuff. But I am coming across a lot of confused parents. Like, what is this? What do we do with it? Why is it so expensive? How do I get them this? And I've also got a lot of new collectors saying, how do I get them? What do I do with them? Which one should I keep? Which one should I chase? And everybody pointed me in your direction for all of these questions.
So I feel honored for that. So that was something new.
I know. I asked Tim and Jeanette and Kim and Jay and all them, and everybody said ask Cody. And so I had to reach out to America's Ass and say, Cody, let's do Pokemon for beginners, my man.
I guess I'm a decent person to ask. So,
somebody gets into Pokemon. Where do they start?
It started. To me, it was one of the things I think just happened in school where I was like in that original, there was like 150, 151 that first came out, and it's one of the things that it just pops. And it's like every kid wants it because it draws. I think it's bright, it's colorful. The animation still, I think, holds up really, really well in some of the older stuff. But it's one of the things I think it just capitalized on stuff that kids want because it's bright, colorful, vibrant, like that late 90s marketing aspect, I think, too.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually some old Japanese cards laying around here, too, somewhere. But I know it came I think, don't quote me on, but like the whole Pocket Monster version from Japan and eventually found its way over here, especially with some of the video games. I think that's how I first got drawn into it, was the Game Boy Color.
Oh, yeah.
So first game I bought, Game Boy Blue and Pokemon Blue version. And I remember just, sitting under the light, just playing that thing to replace the batteries. Then the cards all started to roll out. And I think it's just one of the things that you go to a toy store and it's like, oh, this, I want this because, the package is really cool. And they started rolling out all these different kinds of the fossil sets, the jungle sets, the Team Rocket sets, all these different sets. And, I think the artwork still on is really cool. And I think as you get older, that's what you appreciate more, even with that nostalgia value, because then it's like, oh, I want to get these cards. But the marketing for that, I remember way back, when we started talking about it, a lot of it just started popping in my head, but the marketing and just how all over it was ridiculous.
Now, when you mentioned these different sets, these different lines, are you able to, are they interchangeable? Can you play them all together? Do you collect them together, or do you separate them completely and they're totally different entities?
So I've never actually like sat down and played the actual card game itself. I was literally just collecting all the cards.
So you were in the gotta catch them all mentality, not the I'm going to win this game mentality.
Yeah, they're the only. I mean, I had the I'm going to win mentality was and catch them all was the video game. But the only experience I had playing in this game was the actual Game Boy Color Pokemon trading card game, where you could go and you actually play. And I wasn't very good, but it actually gave me kind of an understanding of how to play. Couldn't tell you how to play now, but I think I think there's like certain rules like to play with the decks and stuff like that. Yu-Gi-Oh! When I actually collected, actually played a little bit with that, but I'm sure now it could be different because I think there's like rules, regulations, leagues, more so now. But I think you could probably have a deck that has Fossil Guys or the Team Rocket sets,
and so they can all be interchanged.
As far as I know, I mean, I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but like I said, now there's I think legitimate actual like leagues and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's cool. Jeanette actually, for my niece and nephew, she put together actual game packs for them. So it had cards, dice, figures, all stuff. So we just sent it, and man, do they love it! And it's awesome. I'm seeing a lot of kids get into this stuff, and I have a lot of parents saying, "Where do I get the stuff? What do I do with it? How do we protect them?" If somebody's just getting started in this area, whether they are a kid or growing up, anybody or a parent trying to help their kid get into it, what are some tips you have in terms of what to go after, how to preserve, what to buy? It's the one thing where I am absolutely inept. I have no clue. And it's the one corner of the nerd world I just never fit in. I don't know. Somehow it's escaped me completely.
I mean, I do want to acknowledge the fact that it's weird how like certain things, there's certain things had their peak, then they fell out, and then all of a sudden, oh, this is coming back. This is cool again. And it's like, when I was a kid, some of the kids just made fun of me for having all this stuff. And now you're going after it. Okay, I mean, but I think it's definitely different now from the stuff I had coming up with the originals, because aside from like, you had your big toy stores and you would walk in and say where you have like, you had walls of G.I. Joe, you had 2 walls of Pokemon that weren't just cards. You had little figures, you had the Pokemon keychains, you had vending machines like the quarter machines you put in, you get a little figure like this big. But like McDonald's is doing their cards, I think now, and you can like some of the cereal boxes. I think way back, I think maybe Wendy's, they used to do like these little tins. BK had like these, I think, like gold plated, like little like token things, little Pokeballs. So you just had so much different stuff to chase after. It's definitely a lot different now. So your starting points are a little bit more direct and specific than I think how it was last time. Because before it used to be just, what, I'm going to go for, the cards because you can pick them up pretty much anywhere. What, I want to get these little action figures. I want to get these plushes. So, and like you had your Pokedex, which I think mine's actually downstairs, not working, and it was just like cool stuff like that you don't see. You still see some like little like little pocket keychains, not even action figures, but just like those little collectible figures. But I think now,
if you're starting now, is there a starter deck like that comes out that you pick up, or is it you gotta piece one of those together too?
I think there's really no starter decks. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was, and like Magic, I think, were the big starter deck guys, where you had, like Pokemon, you have Brock, Ash, and Misty as like your big 3. Yu-Gi-Oh! You had Joey, Kaiba, and Yugi. Yu-Gi-Oh! Sold these decks with these characters on them. So you could pick who you want. They had their primary cards. Like Brock's big guy was Onyx. Ash's Pikachu. Misty was, say Psyduck. So like, oh, here's Missy's deck. Your your edition card is going to be that special side deck, but everything's going to be like all based to her. So they don't really do like those starter decks, I don't think. I think you get like your trainer boxes now, which they never had. If you can get your hands on those, you're really lucky.
I know. I saw like recently. They're not only rare, but they're quite expensive, aren't they?
Certain ones, I think. Like I think the ones with like the legendary birds, even the Charizard ones, those things are going for stupid amounts of money on the resale value if you can get your hands on them. So I think those are where, if you're able to get one, it doesn't matter which one it is. If you just want to start out playing that game or just to start off a base and you see a trainer box, pick it up. Okay. Because the chances are, you could get, you'll get some really good cards out of it, but that's really where your whole start's going to be if you want to just start playing and learning how to play, because it comes with everything. Your packs, your decks, it'll come with some sleeves, the whole rule books. So if you're able to track down like one of those ETBs, I think they call them, the trainer boxes, that's your starting point for playing the game. And if you're just collecting the cards, still snag those if you can, because it still gets you some really good stuff. But like just the plain booster packs, or I think they had like a couple 25-year anniversary packs and different stuff come out. So if you're just looking to pick up cards and just collect them, the sets now are different because I know they're rolling out numerous editions. I think there was like Vivid Voltage is some new stuff. Because I was out of this for a long time, so I'm just diving back into it.
I think everybody was.
I get this one. Yeah, it just completely popped up, and now you can't get anything.
Yeah, I've been trying
to like those packs.
I've been trying to score stuff. I hit my Walmart, regularly for a couple of our mutual friends, and try and grab whatever I see, and then I have to sit in the customer service lines if I've done something wrong, so I can say like, please, sir, I might have another of a pack of cards. And it's just because I've been trying to get some of the NBA ones. I want to get a ball rookie card, but it's insane. I remember just seeing whole aisles of Pokemon cards like 6 months ago, and now you can't even get like a single card. And it's also interesting, like I've been at Rhinos and like people randomly walk in and say like, hey, do you have Pokemon cards? Like it's this whole new fad.
Yeah. I mean, I was there, I think 2 weeks ago. I picked up a couple cards, just feed the habit, scratch the itch. And it's just something about like that pack smell, just something, you don't get a lot. But I remember it was like a gift from a kid when I was teaching. I had the Machamp tattoo, and he actually found a Pokemon tin. I mean, not worth a whole lot, but it's really cool. You probably pull some cool stuff out of it, but because it's a tin and it's Pokemon, you saw that on the shelf now, someone's probably going to fight you for it.
Yeah.
Depending on what the ones are.
And that's kind of where I'm at, when it comes to parents trying to get stuff like for their kids and things like that in this area. We'll often message you like, hey, can you get this? Or not that I'm anything special. I just have a lot of connections in this realm,
Yeah.
I don't even know where to look. And so I find myself having to kind of scour the internet, look around these things. So where should parents look now to get these Pokemon cards, even if it's nothing special, just to be able to get a few packs to stick in their kids' hands,
I mean, and that's if your kids want the cards, though. I mean, because like I said, you had the little figurines with the keychains. You have, there's probably a whole bunch of stuff I haven't really seen. The plushes are a big thing, especially, for little kids. Those are really, really, I think a really cute thing. Those are still big around, but it's really, if you're lucky to snag packs, you're gonna have better luck with the toys and the plushes, I think, first. But pack wise, you gotta scour. I mean, you guys see. I mean, I don't think parents should care about what pack it's going to be, because you're probably not going to get like the latest drop,
right?
Which I think it's like Chilling Rain. I think is going to be that big one I saw coming out now. But if your kid wants, I want some Pokemon cards, see what they're going to go for. You have like your boxes, your boosters, your triple pack boosters, and a bunch of other stuff. See what they are going for first, because some packs might go for like $4 or $5 nowadays. Your boxes might go for 20 or 30 or 50 for like the boxes or the tins. see what they are, and you're gonna have to scour eBay if you don't have like someone like you or Tim or Jeanette that can scour certain Facebook groups that are more in depth with that stuff and find some kind of steals. I mean, I saw an ETB box reselling for almost 200 earlier.
Yeah.
At sealed, and it's like, and that's where like those big money charge art cards are coming out, because for some reason that was always the big money one, which I still don't know why. It's a dope character, dope card, but
yeah, it's one of those things now. I haven't found myself there. My daughter just thinks that they're cute, and so she settles for a Funko of Pikachu every now and then. She doesn't have to have the cards. Jeanette gave her like a bundle of cards at one point. It was cool to look at for a moment, and then it was done.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get Zoe a Pikachu Funko, be aware there's like 10 different ones.
Well, to her knowledge, there's only one, and it's on her shelf, and we're gonna keep it that way.
So you mean I shouldn't tell her next time there's like 9 more?
No, she has her Pikachu and her Bulbasaur, and we're good. Just stay in there. I'm curious. It's as this progresses. It sounds like it's something that people are going to have to throw a lot of money at just to stay in the game, just to be able to keep up the hobby. But for some folks who just want to collect cards, there's got to be cheaper ways to get it, right? Like, are there some single cards that you can buy, or like bundles of cards that are just nothing cards kind of thing that people get rid of?
I mean, if you know people that have like packs on packs, you're going to have people that are going to sell the singles, sell their duplicates, or be up for the trades, or throw some pretty good deals. But you got to be able to kind of like weigh the prices of, on the eBay and everything like that, what they're going to be like. I mean, you could walk into Rhinos and see like, 2 giant sleeves full of single cards, for, really, really cheap. And, they're probably not going to be anything special, but a kid might just see some random one and just fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're going to go for. So your comic shops, your card shops, those are going to be your high winners for at least like the single cards, and getting a really good bulk for a good price just to start out. And if you want to play, you're going to, you could probably build something off of that, and you might get lucky and find some packs there too. But as far as getting cards in hands and not really caring, it's, find your card shop, your comic shops that are going to sell them. You can probably bank on the fact they're going to have those, those sleeves that just have those singles, especially for the kids, they just want to see them, but, collect them.
Yeah. And you also get to support a local business. So that's even better.
It's a big twofer.
Yeah. Now, you get the cards. What do you do to protect the cards once you have them? I know that that's a big thing. And I'm actually, when it comes to trading cards in general, I have all of the early 90s Marvel cards and all the sports cards. I'm so glad I put them all in sleeve protectors and hard cases when I did, because I too got made fun of when I was collecting this stuff, and I have made bank over the last year, unintentionally. I've been seeing like I had a Gronk rookie card. I saw what it was going for on eBay. I cut that price in half and sold it and still made bank. So it's I've been basically seeing what's up there and just cutting that price in half and just getting rid of stuff. I think I had like it was 600 transactions in like 30 days. But man, how do you protect this investment? Because it's clear, I'm seeing what was referred to as common Pokemon cards back when the rage was first starting, that are also going for more than like $3 or $4, which I never would have heard of, that people would give those way back in the day. So what steps do you take to protect these cards so they don't get damaged?
I mean, definitely invest in, for me, like what I do is I rip them. Actually, I have something over here too. I always rip mine from the top if I'm not going to put them in anything. That way I can just slide them as I drop it back in the pack easy. But obviously, nothing other scents are going to be like that because, kids. I was a big sports collector. I had like a little phase going. I actually bought like a giant carrying case for them with the actual hard shell protectors that lined them up nice. Like I said, back, it was the craze back when I was in elementary school. So you could cut out a back of a Lunchable and have like a little Pokemon card like that big. And they actually made all 151 of them. So that was another, you're gonna eat a lot of Lunchables, but I mean, for me, like when I buy my packs, I'll go through, I'll take, the ones I really like or those shinies. And right now I have some, in just a basic Beckett tin.
Okay.
Some might be protected, some might not be. But for, the mass collecting aspect or just making sure they all stay safe, like I said, different when I was collecting, they had the binders with all the Pokemon characters. You had your big school looking ones with all the sleeves, especially made for them. So all my cards went in those big binders. There were little like trading card books, probably about that big, size of a textbook. They held maybe 6 on a page or 4 on a page. So you have binders and little store stuff like that. But definitely don't rubber band them. I learned that. Don't let them just sit out. Stick them in. Stick them in a hard sleeve. Stick them back in the tin if you get them. Give them the pack till you find something.
Now, do you recommend sticking them in a soft sleeve before putting them in a sleeve in a binder, or don't they fray like sports cards? Are they a bit more durable?
I mean, they're still the cardboard. I mean, if you're gonna stick them in a soft sleeve, it's going to be up to you, like how you want to store those as far as like a tin or, some kind of plastic thing. But if you're just going to, after you open them up and stick them right into a, plastic sleeve binder where you can fit like 4 or 6 on a page, then you'll be fine.
Gotcha.
I mean, if you get like, your super like shiny ones, your hollows, your rares, like the full art ones that are doing now, you stick them, in a hard stack or in a soft shell and stick them back into a harder one just to keep safer, because those are going to probably be your more high value ones, stuff like that. That's what a lot of people do with those.
Now, for somebody just getting into the game, or for a parent who's trying to help their kid collect or anything like that, how do they know which ones are harder to find, or how do they identify if they get a rare one? Is there like a database outside of like just eBay pricing? Like, is there somewhere they can turn to kind of that serves as a checklist, or like when we get our mystery minis, it says like how many out of how many chances you have of getting that? Is there anything like that exists for these cards?
I'm pretty sure there's, I think a couple people in some of the groups I think share stuff like that, or would share like the leaked like here's your pack, like it would say like the pack I had was like battle styles, here's all the cards you're getting on your battle styles, here are these certain ones. And I think it's it's 2 things. One, there's the cards that everyone's is gonna find valuable, like you have that that first edition holographic Charizard, the OG run, that's gonna make you a couple grand depending how it is. But then you might have a shiny Rattata that's gonna fetch you maybe $20, but you love that card just because you love it. So you have those two types. You've got the ones that everyone loves and you're gonna make the bank off of, and then you got the ones that you love personally. So I mean, I have I got them all good for eBay prices. I picked up a couple of different Champ holographics. They were all graded already,
right?
But those ones I got, a couple like the Hitmon Champs off eBay and stuff like that. But as far as like pricing wise, Pokemon site might have something. I had to poke around and see what like the pricing, because I think everyone uses different pricing styles.
So it sounds like a good rule of thumb is if it's shiny, protect it in some way.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, every pack is guaranteed, like at least one like your quote unquote rares, and it's going to be like your shiny. So it could be a shiny common. Like you might get your first card will be a common. Your holographic might be that same card, which is shiny. That's just sometimes how they go, but you're always going to be guaranteed at least one something like that.
So if it looks different from the rest, maybe treat it a little bit differently, kind of like you would a lot of other collectibles.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, if it's definitely shiny, definitely, keep that aside. Or, and honestly, because I got to point this out, if you get, I'll say it was in a trainer box, but if you get like a pack or something, look at make sure you actually read, because obviously if you're playing the game, you want to know what the card's going to say and do, but make sure it's in English. As weird as it is to say, because Jeanette actually pulled one of the boxes out that she got from someone in that group and was going through them all and sends a picture like, what's different about this? I'm zooming in like, dude, one's in French.
One random
card was just in French. It was a common card. bunches in French, in a stack, a box of, all English. So
what's up with that?
Probably not going to make, be anything fancy, but I honestly couldn't even tell you. Like, it just may have been just a random fill in, or just someone, fell asleep at the job and just put it in, but it's a cool little spoof.
Yeah.
So if you see like oddities and stuff like that, take them out.
And sometimes, yeah, in the collecting world, misprints can be not just cool to have, fun and unique, but at the same time, they can down the road be worth something.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually funny because it never dawned on me, but it popped up and I was reading, and I never knew this. Because again, I was out of the trading game for so long. The Alakazam card, which again was one of your original runs, actually stopped production for a set amount of years because I guess there was a little lawsuit between him or the company and like some sort of magician. It was for like likeness or something like that. With that, so there was like no production or very few for a certain set after, and then it was all cleared, and now they're back. So it was kind of fun like that one. So I was like, all right, so certain cards after a certain year before could be a little bit, but I mean, rule of thumb, if it's shiny or looks a little bit different, definitely, protect a little bit more. But, if you get some random shiny that you find out, it's not worth much, but I still like it, you're protected just as much.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm actually hearing a lot of kids now are collecting them. Like it's funny because the adults I know are going for the collecting and the value, and the kids that I've been hearing about are all just like playing it or going for like, oh, I just want to get Pokemon cards. So it's cool to see that separation there. And it sucks that some of the flippers are making it harder for the kids who actually just want cards to actually get cards these days.
Yeah.
I think one thing to keep in mind that we're learning that, not that I hope we get a second pandemic ever, but we're learning that keeping these things tucked away is actually a good idea, as opposed to when you're outgrow it or you're tired of it, just getting rid of them. Because I've heard many, many tales of folks who've gotten rid of all their cards years ago and they're kicking themselves right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you said during this pandemic, I went digging. I found a whole bunch because I know a few were in the drawer. So I kept looking, found a whole bunch. I knew I had some sitting around just to see what I had. Realized I found the promo card from when Toys R Us was around and the movie came out, and you were getting promo cards.
Mm-hmm.
They're all in pretty decent shape. So not that they go for much, but it's like one of the ones that you're not gonna get out of commonplace. But it's I think it's just one of those that once it pops up, it's like, oh, I'm gonna go back, and I know I had this somewhere. Yeah. So like if I go up in my attic and I dig out those little, because I know I have them somewhere, like the little BK, whatever you want to call them, tablets, but they're like that big, gold pieces, gold. What those could be now, because they're 15, 20 years old, or even those those 50-cent machine little figurines I would get out of the Toys R Us lobby. I'll get a handful of those. So it's certain things probably would go for a certain more, but just be a hoarder to a certain point and just keep them stashed.
Yeah, it's definitely paying off. I didn't even remember at the time, but I guess like in 1990 we had Marvel rookie cards, and I have all of those, like Ghost Rider, Black Panther, all that stuff. And now all of a sudden people are like searching for this stuff. And I'm like, I just used to get made fun for having this stuff. But yeah. So best places to get it sounds like your local comic shops are gonna be a good bet, because they'll have singles for you. You want to get the sleeves. Most comic shops are gonna sell those sleeves too, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you're going cards, definitely your local comic shops are going to have those. Well, have the singles. Definitely have all like those card protecting accessories. Probably not the binders to a point, but your sleeves for them, your big and little ones. If you're going for packs, they'll probably have them too. But your card shops, then your Targets, your WalMarts, hell, even Barnes and Nobles might even have some stuff lying around as far as like your packs go. But those big tin boxes are really Walmart and Target, I think, are your big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like I said, that's if you want to go for the cards.
Right.
There could be people, there's, more so you have your plushes, you have your Funkos, you have those little keychains, little figurines. So like Target, Walmart are still going to be your big housing for all that kind of stuff. But even like the Pokemon, I think the Pokemon Center website, that's where you're going to have a whole lot of stuff. And you're going to be able to snack some stuff and some stuff that you're not going to be getting in.
So that's right on the Pokemon website.
Yeah. So you can go right through there. You can narrow it down by what you're looking for and pick up some different stuff. Then you got like your odds and store, like your Hot Topic, your Spencer's, your Box Lunch, your big ones. They're not going to have like the cards, but they're going to have like those different shirts, those different your socks, all that kind of different stuff, just to have like that. But collectible wise, your comic shops, your card stores, your Walmart and Target, even like that Pokemon site.
That's awesome. This is all very useful information because when I've been asked these questions, I have no idea. And I can only message you guys so many times in the day before I'm like, all right, let's get the word out there. So I greatly appreciate your time on this one. And I like the idea of having these other collectibles that kind of go along with it because I know how scarce these cards are. So if you can appease that thirst with a pop or a plushie or a pair of socks, then it buys you some time while you're looking for cards. Because I know it's a tough game out there.
I mean, it's going to be, and you might get that kid. You might just get that kid that, the cards are cool and they might, throw them away or get crumpled, but you get that little pop of that plush. You're going to have that thing sit on your floor or anything like forever. Like I think in like the back then, like I have a fat Pikachu, probably about that big keychain. They're just sitting. It's been sitting, I think, hasn't probably moved for 20 years. Like awesome. I'll take a picture of it after this. I literally think it's just been sitting there for years. But like with this, like the cards are the big explosion, but it's kind of like stuff now is geared towards you gear it towards like those adults that's going to go off that nostalgia. Like one of the guys that we know sent me a thing for a Master Ball. I ended up, buying it and getting one because of why not? Because I was looking, and again, not to be that flipper, not to be that guy, but I'm looking. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna, pre-order. Okay, so I'm paying for it when it ships in like a month and a half. Okay, I can afford that. So I'm paying the thing for $150. And I'm looking at eBay. He's like, yeah, just take a look. I'm like, you're doubling your money before you even buy it.
So the potential's there.
Sell it. And then, like I bought, and it's actually in the box. I opened it to see the serial number on it because they're all limited to 5,000. I actually think mine is like 0123 or 500 pieces. Sorry, 500. And mine's limited to, my number is 123. So I'm like, there's going to be some guy, if I sold this, it's going to pay an extra few hundred just so he has 123.
Yeah.
Like I literally think someone like put out like a 20 grand offer for who had like the first made one. But it's like madness. But you get stuff like that appeals to people like my generation. That's like, oh, dude, I wanted this when I was a kid. So I still have it.
Yeah.
So I probably won't part with it, but it's like one of those cool things.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like knowing that you can. Like I have Ultimate Fallout 4 9.8. I'm never going to get rid of it, but it's nice knowing what I could do if I did. It's is this here to stay though, or is this kind of another fad? Is it a wave? Is this one of those things where I know everybody's all in right now, but is this going to last, or once everybody kind of gets out, gets back to work, gets back to life as we know it, it's going to kind of die down a bit?
I think it's going to be. I remember not years ago, but a few years ago when Pokemon Go came out, and that was like, I would go down to Seabreeze any night of the week, and you'd have hundreds of people who were just down there and just hanging out, catching Pokemon, running because of Aerodactyl, 50 yards down the block. I actually, true story, I ran out of the restaurant before I got my food. Give my buddy $20, he'll pay for my food. I'll be back because there was an Aerodactyl that popped up at the end of the pier. So I hauled down there to go catch it. I did catch it, by the way. But,
oh man.
And that was just cool. It's like, I'm getting out of work at 8 o'clock. Let's go Pokemon hunt. These are the spots.
Yeah.
I still play to this day, not as much. I don't go out and hunt like we used to. But there was a big surge in that because that was like the first big thing since like your DS games and stuff like that, which bring it. I'm going to revert back to that because that's something I wanted to talk about too. But I think because you're getting reboots of some like early or later generation games. A couple new ones like Pokemon Snap is being remade. You're getting a whole new adventure game and like the Legend of Arceus. And a couple of remakes like Diamond and Pearl are getting remade this year for the DS or for the Lite, sorry. But it's gonna be, I think, one of the things that it's blowing up and big again now because it's like that 25-year anniversary, I think, really like pushed stuff out even before. It'll settle down, but it won't go away. Like it'll blow back up and then it'll stay stagnant. You're still gonna get those big collectors that are gonna go out and buy all those boxes, but I think after a little bit, you're still gonna be able to go out and if you see one, buy some, no problem. So it's gonna be those things. I think it will still definitely be big, but it'll come to like a small, even keel and kind of start to dip and even back out.
So we're gonna get to a point where people might actually be able to get some stuff when they're looking. We just gotta kind of wait it out, give it some time, see what happens. But the popularity is there; it's on the rise, and it doesn't sound like it's going anywhere.
Yeah, and it's never not going to go anywhere because you're going to get the people that, they figure out, they reboot something or they change something, remaster the movies or something just to bring it back out. But another thing collecting is you don't have to get the cards. I mean, have some cards, have some toys. But the other thing we didn't talk about was the video game aspect. I mean, we talked about the apparel, but you had the video game aspect. I mean, I bought because Pokemon, I bought on Game Boy. I mean, you have obviously Pokemon Go on our phones, which I think most kids have an iPhone now or a smartphone. But, if you can't track down or you don't want to pay, $100 for a box of cards for your kids, which I completely understand, you can go buy them a DS, Switch or a DS Lite for $150.
Yeah.
And you can still get, older DS games for it, like Pokemon Pearl, Diamond, the remastered Gold and Silvers from when I was playing them. So you have like those avenues too, the video games, where it's going to be more stretched, I think, better for your, thing of the parents buys their money, because it's something that's not going to be a one and done thing. It's going to be that ongoing thing where, right. Okay, here to DS, you can play for an hour.
And
it gives you that thrill of actually, trying to catch this. Oh,
it's got to get a bit more staying power too than a card that you might lose or something like that. So that's, that is another aspect to explore. I got Zoe a Switch with the hopes.
Yeah, I mean, and
what's that?
I mean, because I talked to Ross about getting the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I was about to.
I have my PS4 set on the floor. There's still time.
But no, I really appreciate.
I saw.
Oh, what's that?
There's a little lag on that one. That one cut out. There's a little lag on that one. I think that one cut out on that time.
Oh, gotcha.
So that's why you're listening to hear any sound.
Well, that's how most people prefer me, actually. But no, I appreciate all this info, to be honest. It's all useful. It's all I find it interesting. You've been able to catch me up to speed on the one area I have no clue about. So I greatly appreciate your time and all of this, my friend.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm glad. Hopefully I put some light on it. I don't have all the answers. I'm still figuring out stuff more, but I think the video game aspect is going to have a little more staying power than the cards. It'll be easier to, I think, get. But you can go buy a DS Lite or a Switch, refurbish and get a little cheaper and buy reused games. Mm-hmm. You know what? Here, play for an hour, and you're gonna have a great time with that one. But no, it was definitely fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I definitely appreciate the time, my friend, and I'm going to be directing questions to you moving forward. And this has all been very enlightening. The way I like to end some segments is by plugging a local business. Is there a certain local business that's near and dear to your heart that you'd like to give a shout out to before we close?
What's funny, because I actually did this with the crew I did the press review for, and they do something similar. And I actually plugged a lot of businesses, and like no one's actually ever plugged an actual business. So you're the first. They were always doing like little tips and tricks thing, which was funny. But if you're looking for, like I said, I'm going to go rhinos. I'm sure you probably do it quite a few times, but because
it's our
of the
second
top,
home.
yeah, I mean, literally, it's really down the street. I can walk there. So, I mean, if you're really looking for, some packs or like I said, those single cards just to get some in the hands, then that's because I can tell you they have little stacks there. You can get a bundle for a very good price for them. And, obviously, being a dealer, they'll get packs in, limited supply compared to a lot of the others. But, there, if you want to go, my son wants a couple Pokemon cards. I'm going to go in, okay, here's $5. I'm going to walk out with a stack this big of random cards that he wants.
That's awesome. I'm going to start just picking up stacks that when people come to say like, hey, where I can get some, like just give them to them and just help feed that need. Cody, I appreciate your time, my friend. This has been great.
I appreciate the invite, man. This was definitely fun.
Absolutely. I'm going to continue to try and learn on this topic because I don't think it's going away anytime soon. So keep sharing your wisdom with me and the people.
I will share. I will always, my phone is always open. The messages are always open for whatever I can do.
All right,
and that goes for whoever's, watching this, listening to this too. So always feel free.
It's greatly appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's always seemed to miss you at the comic shop. I don't get down there as much as I can, but
yeah, it's been a while. But until we meet again, my friend, thank you very much.
Indeed, it was a very good pleasure. It was a good time.